Good, how are you?
What'd y'all see at practice?
Huh?
What'd y'all check out at practice? Anything?
I saw you guys stretch.
Stretching is riveting stuff.
Is it fun?
It's amazing.
Oh, what's your favorite stretch?
That's actually a great question.
Thank you. I took the whole drive home.
So we do the A skip at the very beginning once we get in lines, and that kind of gets you, in, I guess, running condition, kind of gets your body going. It's probably my favorite.
Who taught you that one?
That's been around for a long time. I remember doing that when I was in, middle school, back in stretch lines. So that's an old one, but it still works.
What have the past couple weeks been like? Your face up in New York City, now in Dallas. What has that been like for you?
Well, fall camp's been great. We've had a good time at fall camp. We've really connected over the last few weeks. We've had, a lot of, players step up and fill roles, and a lot of, vet guys that have been doing it a long time, but, they're still reliable. And, with that comes great things like, billboards. It's great for the university, I think. It's great for the team, and we're not going to let it distract us. We're going to keep the main thing, and that's doing our best to win football games.
What was your involvement in the conception of putting you on the billboard?
I guess just playing at Oregon, way out of my hands. It's a lot bigger than me, but it is a blessing to be in that opportunity, be in that position. I couldn't have done it without my teammates, first of all, to even be in this situation. Somebody even wants to do that for me, but it speaks to the university. It speaks to the football program. It speaks to how prestigious it is to go to a place like Oregon, and how one time you're on one side, and then you get to a school like Oregon, and then all of a sudden how things can change and how your story can change, and so I'm just blessed.
Do you have any involvement of the designs or the photos that they used?
Was a Heisman campaign and publicity and pushing you and putting in that platform part of what they were talking to you about in December and January about coming back?
Well, they sure can't give you a Heisman, so that's not necessarily a reason. I came back. I came back to win a championship, and I came back to play with my teammates one more time, and play at Oregon one more time. Have a season with the fans and the history one more time, and all that can take care of itself. I think on the field is where you got to go out there and really make strides and really grow. And like I said earlier, you got to keep what's the main thing, or you'll just lose sight of it, and then you won't be as good as you can be.
Do you intend to go to New York and Dallas during the bye week to?
Well, that's kind of tough. That's. I don't see myself doing that. Now with pictures and stuff, you can kind of see what it looks like. But no, I probably won't get a chance to go see it.
What's your impression of the creativity of the Dallas one, the throwing effect across two different buildings there?
Yeah, well, it's cool. Those designers, they're good at what they do, and they saw an opportunity and went with it. But yeah, I think it's cool. It's not. I never thought I'd be able to, see that of myself, but, opportunity presents itself, and, you get to play with guys like I do, get to play for coaches like I do, and, all of a sudden you're in that situation.
What's the feeling in the last week of camp as your senior versus your freshman year, when you were just earned the job and you were going into that Oregon game?
That's a good question. I think you're just anticipating the season, and how quickly it's going to be here and actually be here and be gone. Because once it starts, I feel like it's on to the next week, and it never quits. But just the preparation, the early stages of preparation as you get into the last final week. Because fall camp goes by really quickly. You're kind of in practice mode, so you kind of get locked in with that. It's like living the same day over and over. And then once you get to game week, as we're approaching, things start to slow down. You get to start to target opponents and looking at other defenses besides yourself. I'm tired of running against the same defense every day. Those guys are good.
What excites you about this team? You asked us what we saw in practice.
Yeah.
You're in there every day. What excites you about what you're seeing about this team?
We talk about it all the time. Our competition level as a team is very high. We really compete at practice with one another. We really compete amongst ourselves, amongst position groups. We have a healthy competition, and each group pushes the other, and I think we got a healthy balance of competing, but also, appreciating and respecting the person across from you and next to you. Even in a position battle or something, you can say there's not really any negativity going on. So I would say our compete is one of the best things that we do. That's what Coach Lanning always says, is we got to compete. And so now it's just, like I said, we just want to get out there and use it, go play against other teams.
With the current shakeup on the interior offensive line, center and left guard at the moment, how much does that put more of an onus on you for communication, for line calls, for snaps and cadence and all that?
Yeah, but those guys, they prepare and they do a good job. And, they've played some football as well. And you're going to experience a lot of line turnovers during the season, so you better get ready for a lot of different things in fall camp. That's partly what fall camp's for. But we don't anticipate that causing any trouble. We're just going to go right in and do what we're supposed to do.
What have the two scrimmages taught you about this offense and maybe the other quarterbacks in particular?
Well, I think it shows how explosive we really can be. We got a bunch of playmakers, got a bunch of really good football plays. We know Coach Stein's going to put us in good situations. We know our defense is going to put us in good situations with, momentum and field position. And so I'm excited to see, how that shakes up during the season, how it, molds together, how it all, comes together. And then once you get to a game, it's just all about getting the ball into players' hands. And, from a position group, I think the quarterbacks have done really good. We've attacked every day. We've come to play. We've, really been sharp mentally. We've learned a lot. We've grown a lot. And so I'm excited to be in a room like I am.
Where's the growth been most maybe for Austin? Both Dan and Will are really complimentary of what they've seen since the progression.
Yeah, he's locked in. He's done a really good job of focusing on what he can control, staying, positive with whatever happens. He makes a lot of really good throws, and then he learns from the ones that, he may want back. And that's the thing about him, he's a consistent guy. You're going to get, his best each time, and he's going to grow as a player and as an individual. He's very young, he's a freshman, and we don't necessarily go against an easy defense every day as far as, scheme and stuff. So he's having to see a lot. I was telling him the other day I'd hate to be a freshman against his defense, but he does a really good job. He's learned a lot, and he's put himself in a good spot.
When you're opening up with
Speaking of the defense, Coach Lanning kind of said that the defense has kind of taken control over the past two scrimmages. As a leader on the offense, just what have you done to really sharpen up this last week going into that last scrimmage before you got to prepare for a different opponent?
Yeah, that was polite of Coach Lanning. I think they have made a lot of, I think just with all the new pieces, I think they made a lot of strides just as far as scheme and fitting in the scheme and how they, may learn it. And, they look really good right now. They're doing a really good job of, they got a lot of depth, so they're playing a lot of guys, and they're doing a good job of playing their role and doing it well. And, I'm excited. When I see a defense, like we got, it's exciting to go against every day because that's what opponents are going to have to go against too. And so I think, scrimmages are great. It's fun to go against them and compete against them because then you get a feel of how they're going to be during the season, how they're going to compete against other teams. And, I'm excited that they're our defense.
how will you define success for this first game? Because it's an FCS opponent, home game, and you've got a tougher game in week 2, so play calling might be a little bit more conservative, not want to show much. So how will you feel on September 3rd on film review? You'll feel good, and it was a successful first game beyond winning if you do what?
Well, I think if we, run to win, run the ball, have some explosive plays, win situational football, don't be ourselves, don't have any penalties, don't turn the ball over. We just do what we're supposed to do. I think it'll be a fun day, and we'll put ourselves in great positions and just be in good shape, and then go into week 2, having some confidence and building on week 1. But, we're going to take each week, as a very important game, and, we just want to win.
Do you feel like you add anything to your game this fall? What do you think you do the most this fall camp?
I really think I got a great command over situational, processing and offense, and like whether it's 2-minute, 4-minute, third down, first and second down, P&10, whatever situation, I'm put in, I feel like I got a good grasp of it. And there's a lot of things that I've seen based off experience that has helped. put me in that situation. I've grown a lot just as far as, I guess, checking and seeing things and getting into protections and getting into runs and, doing some past things. And, I'd say that's where I've grown the most. I felt from last year to this year is I started the process last year, but I really kind of, feel that, control and, I feel that awareness of what's going on. And, I think that's helped me as a player.
All right, thanks.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.